Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're gonna be making an AI that learns how to drive by itself using machine learning. Now, let's talk about self-driving cars. Imagine being able to go to work while drinking your damn martini and not having to worry about dying in the process. And then sending your car back to your house to pick up your family and friends, and then having it recharge itself and picking up your groceries and stuff? That sounds damn awesome! Well, I think that's not a very distant future. So, that's what inspired me to start learning AI and showing you guys my progress. Though clearly making a self-driving car takes a whole team of engineers and yeah, I'm gonna be doing a way smaller version, and the objective is gonna be that the car learns to drive by itself through a track without crashing. So without further ado, let's get started. For the coding, I'm gonna be using Python, which is one of the best programming languages for machine learning because of libraries like TensorFlow and PyTorch. Step 1 is gonna be creating the car and having it be controlled by the keyboard. To make the movement, I decided to use a library called Back2D, just because in some case scenarios, movement gets really complicated, like in this one over here, and I could make it myself, but I definitely take an awful lot of time. I managed to get the car working, and after some tweaks, I managed to make it drivable. So yeah. Step 2 is gonna be creating the track. So I created a little Python program that allows me to just click and create lines, and then make those lines into Back2D objects, and there we go. Okay, so next step is gonna be creating this little boy's brain. But first, it needs a sense of what the hell is going on. Otherwise, there's no way it learns to move around the track if it has no idea where the track is. So I added these little lines that come out of it that basically measure the distance between the car and the wall. Kind of like cat whiskers, I guess. So basically it can now see where it's at. Even though it's kind of a short range, it's kind of nearsighted, but I'm sure he'll manage, right? So what I did next was implementing a neural network that can learn the mapping between inputs and outputs. So for example, if there's a wall up front and a wall to the right, then the neural network's output should be for the car to turn left. And now the brain is done, it's time to train, motherfucker! So the first thing I tried was recording my own moves while I drive around the track for around 10 minutes, and also recording all the distance to the walls that the car sees. This way I can feed all this information to the neural network, and the neural network should be able to learn the mapping between inputs and outputs. This way, when given a new input, the neural network is gonna be able to predict a new output. Essentially, the car is gonna learn to drive through the track by imitating my own behavior. And now, the moment of truth! Yeah. That was not that bad, but it was not good. So, okay, first thing we're gonna do is we need to make the track harder, because right now he only has to turn right, which is not very hard to learn. So, new track, baby! Okay, so clearly this method is not very good because the AI isn't really learning, but it's just copying our behavior. It doesn't really know what it's doing. It's just copying keystrokes without really knowing what's going on. In machine learning, this is what's called supervised learning, which means the neural network learns from the information it's provided, and this information is labeled. When the neural network is trained, it learns to identify more complex and abstract concepts that relate the labels to the data. This is what's used in, for example, image recognition and speech recognition. But what we really need is an area of machine learning called reinforcement learning. And that's gonna get us to method 2, genetic algorithms. In genetic algorithms, the paradigm is completely different. Now, we're gonna have many cars, and each of them is gonna have a different brain that generates randomly, which means they're gonna suck, but a few of them will be better than others because of random characteristics that are gonna be useful for the environment they're in. All of these brains are gonna have their performance measured, and the best of them are gonna get to generate random mutations, reproduce with each other, and be in the next generation. This is similar to the process of natural selection. Only the fittest genes will survive. To measure the fitness, I added these lines that add 1 for each time they're passed. This way, the further they get, the more fit they are. And so, it begins. As you can see, generation 1 is completely random. Half of them go backwards and half of them go forwards. And even at this point, you can see some of them getting really far. In generation 2, the best genes are passed, and you can see more of them start going forward. Okay, so we clearly see a big problem here. The cars are being rewarded even if they crash the whole time. So they can get a high fitness even if they drive like shit. And so I changed it so that every time they crash, they become a little bit slower, so that there's no way that they get far by just crashing. And now, the decisive moment, 1v1!